In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Marvel Cinematic Universe's latest Captain Marvel, and I'll be giving reasons why I wasn't a big fan of the film, coming right up. What is up, everybody? Gabriel Mutepa here of GM Nova Creations, bringing you detailed insights on select stories, as well as tips and tricks on how you can better your own storytelling. So, if it's the first time you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button just for you to see more videos just like the one you're about to see today. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving my personal review on the new Marvel Cinematic Universe film Captain Marvel and some of the reasons why I was not a very big fan of the movie. I will be discussing some spoilers, so if you haven't seen it and you do not want the movie to be spoiled for you, I suggest you watch the movie first, but then of course you have to come back and watch this video so that you can get my view and my opinion on it. And of course, as in all the videos, you are able to leave your own comments, your own views, your own opinions on this movie as well, right here in the comments below, on this video, or on Facebook, or on my website if you'd like to as well. But anyway, let's get right into the video. Alright, so before I get into why I didn't really like this movie, I must say that it's one of the 5 least favorites of the MCU movies of mine that have come out, along with the first 2 Thor movies, which were trash, Iron Man 3, which was even more trash, and of course Iron Man 2 wasn't great, Avengers The Age of Ultron, that was just absolute trash as well, and Captain Marvel's not necessarily trash, but it's just above trash status in terms of the MCU films that I've seen. I really didn't like it. I didn't like how they developed a character. In fact, they didn't even develop a character. But let me actually just dive into a little bit more what it was about the movie that I really didn't like. So before this movie came out, and when I found out that Brie Larson was going to be Carol Danvers or Captain Marvel, I was so excited. The trailer had me hyped. I was, I love Captain Marvel. Now I'm speaking comic book wise. I love Captain Marvel. I've read so many comics. I've watched so many TV animated series as well. I know how she's portrayed. I know the kind of character she is. I know her powers, just all of that. And then I love Brie Larson. Brie Larson is absolutely one of my very favorite actresses right now. And I think she's absolutely fantastic. So the two of them together I thought were a perfect match, and it was going to be absolutely brilliant. Not to take away from Brie Larson's portrayal of the character, because I thought that she did that quite well. But the character herself was extremely bland, which made the movie extremely boring as well. So Marvel decided that they were going to switch it up a bit. They weren't going to make it a standard origin film as they have been doing, or as they've had success with in the MCU so far. If you look at it in this way, Thor was already powerful. He might not have had his hammer, right? But he was already a powerful character, and he went through a character development in order for him to become who he was. That's not something that we saw in Captain Marvel. Same thing as Captain America. If you watched Captain America, the first Avenger, he was weak, he was scrawny, he was small, but he still had that same mentality. So his character development and his struggles came after the fact that he got that super serum and he became the Captain America that we all know and love. All of these things didn't really happen to Captain Marvel, which is why I thought it was boring. Captain Marvel is a powerful character, we know this, and we know that she had these abilities from the very beginning. Well, she had the abilities from the very beginning of the film, albeit they were sort of restricted. Anyway, Captain Marvel, she already had these abilities, but there was no struggle. We didn't see her struggle to get these abilities. We didn't see her struggle to get used to these abilities. She's so powerful. They could have easily not made her struggle to get these abilities, but they could have made her struggle to not be overwhelmed by these abilities. But as soon as she got it, she was able to use them flawlessly, and she just became that Captain Marvel that everybody knows and loves. Another thing that I really didn't like is that there was no backstory. I feel like I don't know who Captain Marvel is. Putting aside the comic books and putting aside the animated films and whatnot that I've already seen, there's so many people who had absolutely no idea who Captain Marvel is, who Captain Marvel was. She was introduced into the MCU with her abilities, which is fine, because that's something that they did with Spider-Man as well. But Spider-Man, they've done that because everybody knows Spider-Man. Everybody knows his backstory, and he still had some character development in the film. Captain Marvel didn't. We knew nothing about her. We know nothing about her struggle. We know nothing about her past. All we got were little tidbits of information and little tidbits of scenes going back to why she couldn't become what she became, but they didn't explain to us why she couldn't become what she became. We know nothing about her dad. We saw him for 10 seconds telling her you shouldn't be racing. We know nothing about her instructors at the Air Force. All we saw was this guy saying there's a reason it's called the cockpit. We know nothing about her friendship with Maria until it was explored later on. And that wasn't from something that we felt. That was something that was explained to us. It was thrown at us, you know? And her relationship with the character who ended up being Marvel, Dr. Wendy Lawson, we didn't feel any sort of connection. There was nothing to indicate that they were that close. The movie would always lean towards her and Dr. Wendy Lawson being an extremely close, or them having a really close relationship, but there was nothing that really justified that close relationship. We're just supposed to take it by somebody's word. And the fact that she had amnesia, I'm not a fan of amnesia because we're trying to get to know somebody who doesn't know themselves. So how are we supposed to root for a character, or how are we supposed to like somebody if they themselves don't even know if they like themselves? You know, it just makes absolutely no sense. And I thought it was completely, it wasn't well done. Right now, after having left the movie, I know nothing about Captain Marvel except for the fact that she's powerful and she's gonna be a key figure in Endgame. That is it, you know? And I'm not speaking now, again, like I said earlier on, I'm not speaking from a comic book perspective because I know Captain Marvel. But what if I came in there just watching a movie? And that's the mentality that I'm having right now while I'm giving this review. I thought that they could have done a lot more. I thought that they could have developed her character. She was bland, the movie was boring, the story was boring, and there was just so much more that they could have done. I'm just really not happy with what they did and how they portrayed Captain Marvel, and I think that they did my girl Brie Larson wrong. All in all, it wasn't a horrible movie, but it really was one of the least of my favorites movies in the MCU. And if I had to give it a rating, I would give it a 5.8 out of 10. 5.8 out of 10. I think that's the rating that I'm going to stick with. I thought it would be a 6, but upon reflection and thinking about all of these things again, I don't think that it warranted a rating higher than 6 out of 10. But again, this is just my opinion. This is what I felt as a storyteller. I also think that if you're writing a story, you need to make sure that your audience feels that story, you know? I believe that as a storyteller or as a story writer, in order for your audience to really indulge in the story or indulge in a character, you have to be able to resonate with the character, you know? And I just don't think that any of that happened in Captain Marvel. Leave your own comments right down below underneath this video. Let me know what you thought about Captain Marvel. I'm also curious to see everybody else's opinions on the movie. Another thing about the movie is that I thought that it was a big loss, or not necessarily a big loss. I thought it was a loss for the whole female empowerment thing, because once again, there was no struggle. And that's very important when you're trying to portray something or somebody in a light that other people don't see him as. You have to portray them in such a way that you see their struggle. You see what they had to go through in order to be what they are, or in order to be in the position that they're in. But that really didn't happen with Captain Marvel. If you think Wonder Woman, she went through a lot of struggle as well. That movie was so well crafted. The story was fantastic. And she went through struggles, and she had to change her own view. She had so much hope in humanity, and towards the end of the film, she sort of lost it because humanity was not what she thought. And she had to really struggle, especially in her final battle. And she lost, she experienced loss. But that didn't happen with Captain Marvel. But once again, like I said, this is my very own opinion. I'm not sure how many people share this opinion with me. It might be an unpopular opinion, but I thought that it could have been done so much better. I really hope that in the MCU's future, she's portrayed a little bit better than what she was, because I was quite disappointed in the film, especially considering the fact that I was so excited to watch it. But it is what it is. The film's out, the film is done. Can't take away from its commercial success, because it's doing absolutely a fantastic job, and I really hope that in future it keeps on going just like that. But that's it for this movie review. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you did, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Also be sure to check out the other videos that I have on this channel. I'll be talking to you again real soon. Take care.